using nutrition to produce mostly healthy biochemicals and very few, if any, detrimental biochemicals. And so today, when a customer provides their stool sample, for example, right, and we measure the 3,000 chemical reactions that their gut microbiome is performing, the computer will 100% automatically compute exactly what food that person should be eating and what food ingredients that person should not be eating, 100% automated using chemistry and math. So we're currently setting up 7 RCTs where specifically we're trying to treat diseases using nothing but nutrition, meaning that 100% of everything you need to treat a disease can be bought at Whole Foods, for example. Let's talk about dysbiosis, right? So it's a very commonly used term, microbiome dysbiosis, and people have been using it in the context of composition, meaning they compare a group of sick people with healthy individuals and they try to find the differences and say, oh, these people are sick because they have gut microbiome dysbiosis. They're somehow different from people who are not sick. It turns out that's not the case. In our studies, we can't go to someone who has IBS and say, you have an IBS microbiome, sorry, you're going to have IBS. That is not the case. They, in fact, do not have an IBS microbiome. What they do have is that they're performing biochemical functions that healthy people gut microbiomes are not performing. And very importantly, vice versa. Their microbiomes are not performing functions that healthy people microbiomes are. So we have 2 sets of biochemical reactions, one where it's more pronounced than in healthy people, and the other one it's missing, whereas in healthy people it isn't. And so now we have that signature, and that's the functional dysbiosis associated with the disease. And what's really cool about that functional dysbiosis is that you don't need to try to change their microbiome. All you have to do is feed it a different diet, meaning you feed every person's microbiome what it needs to start producing the beneficial, healthy chemicals that we see healthy people microbiomes producing, and deny them food that person's microbiome uses to produce detrimental chemicals that are associated with the disease, right? And that's how our algorithms sort foods into eat versus do not eat. If that person's microbiome is going to use some molecule in wheat to produce something bad that's associated with the disease, don't eat the wheat. Deprive the microbiome of that. And once you deprive it with the building blocks of that reaction, they can't make it. They don't make chemicals out of thin air. And every single person's microbiome is going to require different nutrition because they're all different compositionally and they take in different foods and make different things from them.
Whoa, our experts went deep in this episode. There's a lot we learned, so let's recap. First off, managing a chronic condition is not easy, and often everyday tasks can become challenging. We are now experiencing an epidemic of autoimmune disease, and Dr. Carnahan shared that it's now one of the top 10 leading causes of death in women. No matter which specific tissue is impacted, the root cause of autoimmune disease is the same: genetics, gut dysbiosis and inflammation, then a trigger. Dr. O'Brien blew us away with the hard science on the microbiome. Get this, cell to cell, we're outnumbered 10 to 1. But gene to gene, we're outnumbered 100 to 1. We then dove into our proven solutions, beginning with biofeedback. Dr. Pepper talked about this technique being a remarkable way to gain insight into our physiology by learning to consciously alter unconscious processes. For digestive disturbances, like irritable bowel syndrome, abdominal pain, any gastrointestinal distress, research shows an 80% success rate after just 6 biofeedback sessions. He reminded us to breathe lower and slower, not necessarily deeper, to decrease the alarm bells and enhance peristalsis, or the natural rhythm of our digestion. We then explored electromedicine with Dr. McMakin, the founder of frequency-specific microcurrent, giving us the download on the vagus nerve. This incredible nerve network helps to quiet our immune system from overreacting, it slows our heart rate, and improves our digestion. She told us about SIBO, or small intestine bacterial overgrowth, where the bacteria in your gut basically go into a VIP area and throw a crazy party that hurts your health. Next, we explored the 5,000 plus year old wisdom of acupuncture. Dr. Mel shared the research of predisposition to autoimmune disease from brain imbalances. Your left brain is more specialized to increase the immune system when needed, and the right brain on softening the immune system or turning it off when not needed. Makes sense that a balanced brain is important to our immune status. She said that acupuncture has a top-down effect and directly interfaces with the nervous, immune, and endocrine systems simultaneously. Not stopping there, acupuncture needling immediately shifts the blood flow to the internal organs through a nerve reflex via, you already know it, the vagus nerve. That grumbling belly sound during a session is a sign of vagal nerve stimulation. More research has revealed that acupuncture works on histamine, which plays a role in inflammation and allergies, but also increases resolvin levels. These are little chemical messengers derived from omega-3 fatty acids, which are known to reduce inflammation. Tero then shared with us the science on functional mushrooms and that we are all overlooking this crucial biological kingdom. Fungi and bacteria have long collaborated, and it goes beyond just beer and wine making. Mushrooms provide prebiotics, which feed gut bacteria. From triterpenes to polysaccharides such as beta-glucans, mushrooms are nutrient dense. Think about what mushrooms do in the forest. They are decomposers, transforming organic and inorganic materials into usable forms for ecosystems, whether that be the forest or your belly. He told us about reishi, or Ganoderma lucidum. This famous fungi has been celebrated in Asia for eons, and science has proven this to be for good reason. This mushroom contains high concentrations of triterpenes, which is why it's so shiny to begin with, endowing it with phenomenal immunomodulating properties. This means that it's a smart herb and can signal your body to calm down during an immune overreaction, or stimulate it into action when your immune system is being a little sluggish. Interestingly enough, this mushroom is even helpful in a common yeast overgrowth condition known as candida. We then probe the depths of herbal medicine. Jason Blaylock told us about the spleen-stomach school of traditional Chinese medicine. They knew a long time ago that your gut was vitally important and that it must be strong for your immunity to be strong. He spoke about 3 herbs that are known to increase small intestinal absorption when cooked together and even create a new molecule. These are Hu Wengxi, astragalus, Chai Hu, and Sheng Ma. In TCM, liver pathology also can impact digestion and cause problems. Who knew that treating the liver would be good for the gut? Well, Asian physicians knew a few thousand years ago. Dr. Martinez then told us stories of her foraging for yerba buena, or wild mint, with her grandmother when she was a child. We now know that peppermint oil helps with motility, cools inflammation, cleans the gut, and has antimicrobial activity. We learned about turmeric and the well-studied family of curcuminoids found in high levels in this root. Tons of studies have shown that curcumin is more bioavailable for absorption by the body when it is combined with black pepper and oil, or fat. David Winston was quick to note that in high doses, turmeric is a gastroprotective, whereas curcumin is a gastroirritant. So there is more to turmeric than curcumin, and he shared research demonstrating that curcumin-free turmeric had as much anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor activity as curcumin itself. He also transmitted an ancient secret. Many have heard that combining turmeric with long pepper and oil makes it more bioavailable, but the ancient Ayurvedic doctors actually traditionally used ginger as a substitute for salt or in addition to it. We then move to our number 1 modality for gut and autoimmune disease, nutrition. Dr. Tom told us about the 17-year lag between published research data reaching your local neighborhood doc. From the work of Dr. Ebinger, Dr. Tom and the rest of the world learned of molecular mimicry, which is one of the mechanisms of autoimmune disease. This is where a microbe mimics part of the body. So when our immune system targets those pathogenic agents, it also attacks our own tissue. He then dropped a knowledge bomb, citing the work of Dr. Alessio Fasano, the father of intestinal permeability, whose recent work documents that all disease begins in the leaky gut. We then learned that our microbiome actually educates our immune system, training it to target specific bacteria and viruses. Momo then unlocks the keys to understanding the microbiome. It's a collection of chemical processes that are either beneficial or detrimental, and ultimately, there's no such thing as good or bad when it comes to microbes. E. coli, for instance, plays a significant role in how we absorb iron, a needed nutrient. But in other instances, E. coli produces lipopolysaccharides, or LPs, which are pro-inflammatory molecules. What matters is the ratio of microorganisms and probably 1,000 other variables we are just beginning to discover. Even our mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, are bacterial in origin. Somewhere down the line, we formed a commensal relationship with them to benefit both of our needs. Momo then went on to share how we co-evolved with these microbes, and that it's why, even though we are such advanced and complex creatures, we have fewer genes than a worm. Like I said, we covered a ton in this episode. Lastly, what proven healing secrets do we have coming up next? Tomorrow night, we air episode 3, and this one is dedicated solely to that beautiful organ that resides in between your ears, your brain. We'll also be going into some of the more serious brain conditions that many people are struggling with, such as Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's. This is going to be a truly powerful exploration that will literally change your mind. I can't wait. Can you? See you tomorrow.